Hello and welcome. In this video, we will be covering the local anchor mode. To get started, press select. Next, we are going to add the properties. Then I'm going to add the origin, change the friction values. And now we are ready to get started. I'm going to start off with building the lift hill. And I'm going to say it's about 5-meter radius. Going to make it about 45 degrees. And these values don't really matter too much. Next up for velocity, probably going to make this like 2 meters per second. Then let's just say 50. Then we're going to need to add a section here. Change this to 0. Change the distance to, let's say, 25. And I want to go up to about 20 meters or so. All right, looks like I need to extend this a little bit further. Going to change this a bit back. All right, that should be good. So now that we have the start of the lift hill, then we need to make the curve out of it. And then it's going to be 45 plus 20, so that's 65. All right, so now we should have the start. All right, so then we can get into the 4 sections. For this, I need to get rid of the velocity to make it 0. That way, this will be done by physics. All right, I think that should be a good start. So just got to continue on. All right, so now I'm changing the roll so that I'm going to try and have it go to the left here. Need to create a transition for that. I am now going to transition out the job by increasing the change value. Going to make this a little bit more shallow. All right. Now I got to edit the roll. That's a bit too long. This will get us out of the roll section. At this point, I have shown most of the basics to get started with the geometry and force parameters in mode 1. More details will be available on the support page. However, I'm going to fast forward through this video to show the making of this coaster, and then I will cover how to save and export. Since I'm pretty far into my program, I'm going to save it. You can do this by opening up the Save option on the menu bar and then selecting the folder where you would like to save and then titling your project and clicking Save. Once you have finished your program, you may export it into one of two options, a .csv file or no limits 2. The .csv file allows you to change the scale, the number of rows, which determines how far apart the nodes are. The unit is required for SolidWorks in order for the file to be accepted. I will export it to SolidWorks as an example. you need to click this button at add inches, and then you click export and then save the file. Next, you need to open up SolidWorks and create a new part. You then click insert curve through XYZ points, click browser, and then open up the location which you saved to. In that location, you will have 3 files. The spleen is the heart line, and the 2 references are the track. For each of these files, you have to repeat the process and load them into SolidWorks. Once you have loaded them into SolidWorks, it should seem similar to what was made in the program. To export to No Limits 2, you will click No Limits 2 and then set the scale and number of rows. You will then click Export and then save the file to the selected folder. In No Limits 2, open the editor and create a new coaster. You will then select the Add Element option and open the file where the element was saved to. Now that I have covered the basics of how to use Mode 1, the local anchor, next video I will cover how to use Mode 2, the global anchor, and I hope to catch you then.